Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of my life updates. My name is Sarah Brill and I am a financial and transformative coach, meaning that I help people get clarity around their situation and help them uncover their blind spots so that they can move forward and achieve whatever change in their life they're looking to achieve. Today I really wanted to talk about toxic friendships and how to move forward and establish for yourselves better relationships with people in your life, whether that's friends, colleagues, partners, spouses, whatever that looks like for you. I think it's important to recognize that whatever I talk about today is just one example of different approaches that you can use to help you establish better relationships with people in your life. Sometimes the fear or coming from a place of lack can actually impact the relationship that we have with other people. And what I mean by that is that sometimes we think, well, if this person is doing something that I'm doing better than I am, then they don't deserve a place at the table. And whether we're aware of it or not, these types of thoughts and feelings can impact the relationships that we're having with other people. Another example might be that if we're at work and we feel like we've learned something or grown from something and we're ready to progress in our career, sometimes we want to better manage relationships at work, or sometimes conflicts arise and we're not quite sure how to deal with them. Another example might be if we're dating someone in the early stages of dating and we experience ghosting or some other types of uncalled for, unrequited actions, let's say. And we have to recognize that whatever's going on for other people, what happens is our ego starts to take control and our ego starts saying to us, well, it's all about me. And the truth is that if we hold up the mirror, it's actually to do with the other person. And we're aware of how we're thinking and how we're acting, we can actually go to the other person and say, look, this is actually bothering me. This is the situation. And then you're able to talk it through. Now, of course, that's not always the case and things can manifest in certain ways and propel, and they can become worse and worse and worse. There's an idea in coaching called the drama triangle, and I wanted to share with you this idea because I covered it in one of my coaching courses in transformative coaching, and it's to do with transactional analysis. Now, transactional analysis is actually looking at our interactions that we have with other people, and there's 3 corners to this triangle, as you would expect from a triangle. So one of them is the persecutor, one of them is the rescuer, and one of them is the victim. And at any point in time, we can play a different role within the drama triangle. Now, there might be other people involved in this drama triangle, and they might assume other roles. And in some cases, we can actually play out the drama triangle in our own lives, in our own head. So we can become our own persecutor, we can play the victim to our own stories, and we can be the rescuer to ourselves as well. So it's important to recognize that however you see the drama triangle, apply it to your life and what feels relevant to whatever dynamic is going on. So I do have my trusty notebook here, as you can see, my drama triangle. So just to highlight different roles, the first one that we'll go through is the persecutor. So the persecutor might be domineering. They might feel that they are always right in every situation, and the victim is actually wrong. They are powerful, perhaps they lack empathy, and might come across as uncaring. You might find that they might be pushy and controlling, forceful, and give out blame to other people. You know, you're in victim mode, you're in victim state. They might become frustrated, or they might even go completely the opposite way and give people the silent treatment. So sometimes we think that people are playing a victim because they are looking for sympathy in some kind of way. But actually, someone who removes themselves from a situation and gives people the silent treatment can be the role of the persecutor. Now, the victim It might be someone who's feeling a little bit helpless or hopeless. They might be a little bit submissive. They're probably experiencing low self-esteem, maybe feeling a bit sorry for themselves, powerless. There's a sense of entitlement for victims. So everyone else in the world is receiving something and I'm not. Everything is going wrong for me. Why can't I find the job that I love? Why have I been fired? Why is everything going wrong for me? Often you find these types of people speak in these types of ways. So I have no money. How can I live my life and enjoy my life? Nobody likes me. Those kinds of stories and narratives that we run in our heads. Things in life might not seem fair for someone who's playing out in the victim mode. They love the attention. So they might, for example, give off the sense that they aren't okay, that maybe it might manifest in another way. Like they might say something like, I'm not feeling very well, or things aren't going right for me. And they're looking for people to say, I hope you're okay, and I hope things are okay. And often for someone who's a rescuer, which we'll come on to in a moment, that can be very hard and challenging because they are the type of person who naturally wants to help someone who's playing out in the victim mode. And they often shift the blame onto other people. So someone who's in victim mode is obviously going to play the role that nothing they've done is of harm to anyone else, and they are completely the victim and have no responsibility in whatever situation is playing out. The third role is the rescuer. So the rescuer offers sympathy. They are the martyr in the situation. They might be over helpful, trying to play peacemaker. They might be a little bit interfering at times, which might seem a little bit contradictory, but they are the person who wants to get involved and play the role of, oh, did so-and-so say that about you? I'm so sorry. How can I help? Oh, you're not feeling like you're doing well at work at the moment. I want to come in and help you. They might collude with either the persecutor or the victim. And when I say collude, what I mean by that is they will agree, right? So they will, if someone says, everything's going against me, my life is terrible at the moment, the martyr might come in and go, yes, I agree, everything is really bad for you right now, everything is going really terribly. They might come across as if they know what's best for you. So sometimes you get people saying, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And genuinely sometimes, for example, let's take the example of being fired from a job, you might genuinely be feeling like you're in the victim mode, and it's okay to stay in that place sometimes, right? This is different if you are playing out in a relationship with other people in this drama triangle. But they might come out and say, I know what's best for you. Have you tried this? Have you tried that yet? And some people that can create resistance, for perhaps a persecutor, but for a victim, they might welcome that kind of attention and those types of suggestions. The rescuer is often in I'll fix it mode. So they want to kind of fix everything. They believe that they are the only people that can help. Which actually might be detrimental, and they might have their own hero complex. So in their own story, in their own narrative, they might be the peacemaker. They might be the ones who's going to come in and save the day, the person who's going to fix everything. They're going to have this hero complex. Now, each of these sides of the drama triangle have a different type of relationship. The relationship between a victim and a rescuer is going to look different to the relationship between a victim and a persecutor. So a victim and a rescuer's relationship is compliant, right? So the victim needs the rescuer, right? This is a relationship of dependence, and the rescuer must help the victim. That is the dynamic. The rescuer plays the role and assumes the role of helping the victim in that dynamic. Whereas the relationship between the persecutor and the rescuer looks slightly different. The persecutor might be experiencing some resentment and they might need the rescuer. But there is a sense of fake protection, right? They revel in the badness of the persecutor. So the rescuer is going to offer this sort of fake sense of protection. They know that they're doing something wrong, but they still want to help this person anyway. And that can be really quite damaging. And in some ways, if you're not able to sense or see the signs coming, this might come across in a way that the rescuer is trying to help the persecutor stop being such a persecutor, if that makes any sense. The third relationship in this drama triangle is the one between the persecutor and the victim. And the victim will play out the role of, why are you picking on me? They often say, I'm sorry. So saying sorry for probably things they don't even know what they're sorry for or why they're saying sorry. They just feel that as the role of the victim, they are in victim mode. Their default is victim mode and people must help them. They might say things like, stop being mean. They might avoid the situation. They might say to a persecutor, don't blame me, it's not my fault. I am the victim here. You are the persecutor and you are pushing on all this blame to me. Now, you might see yourself as a victim in some situations, but and the reason why I'm sharing this sort of example is because recently there was a friendship dynamic that this kind of played out in, and the victim was actually the persecutor, because the victim, who wasn't feeling too well and things weren't going right in their own life, then became the persecutor by spreading stories and not very nice things about someone else, giving off the sense that that person was actually the persecutor. And depending on who listens to these stories, those people are going to become the rescuers, because they're going to come into the fold and believe that they know exactly what's going on. And this person assume the role of the victim, when actually that might not be the case. So all the roles are interchangeable. I'm not saying that if you are a victim in one area of your life, you are always the victim. That's not the case. And sometimes we assume roles that are actually incorrect, and we think we are a victim, but actually we are the persecutor or the rescuer, depending on what's going on for our lives at that time. So in order to quit, let's talk about walking away from these toxic friendships and these toxic relationships. Now, some people might not want to walk away, which I completely understand. Some people love to have lots of people in their lives. For me personally, I am not someone who entertains fake friends. I would much rather have a small circle that I can trust and rely on than have people in my life that are going to come to me and accuse me of things that are not necessarily true. So everyone has a different boundary. It is important to recognize and know your boundaries so that you can assert them when you need them to protect yourself. Now, if you are in victim mode and you want to quit the drama triangle, you do need to create a sense of awareness. Now, awareness applies to all of these three, but particularly with the victim mode, you need to be creating a sense of awareness. All of these, again, if you're going to quit the drama triangle, if you are any of these roles, you will need to have the desire to change. If you think that you are experiencing massive anxiety, and I'm not saying that the drama triangle is going to solve your problems if you have anxiety, but it's definitely worth being aware of your state, of the state that you're in. If you are playing victim mode and you are saying everything is against me, the world is against me, I have massive anxiety, I'm depressed, etc., then you need to create your own desire to change and the willingness to move forward with your own life. And I mean that in the most empathetic way possible, because I want all of you watching to be able to succeed in your own lives and achieve the things and the greatness that you're made for. When we're stuck in victim mode, we're not moving forward with our lives. We are entertaining this vicious cycle, which is detrimental to our own mental health and well-being. Now, for the victim to leave the drama triangle, they need to shift into an adult state. So rather than playing the child state, and I might do another video on the ego states in the future, but they must shift into a sense of awareness where they have control over their emotions and their actions. And they need to start feeling empowered to leave this situation and say, I acknowledge what is going on here. I can see the way this is playing out. I don't want to be propelling these rumors. I don't want to be starting these rumors. I don't want to be damaging my friendships. And so I want to leave this drama triangle. For the persecutor, they also need to have a sense of awareness and desire to change, but they need to develop a sense of empathy and also shift into the adult mode. But the main thing for the persecutor is to understand and get more empathy for perhaps the victim or the rescuer that are playing out in the drama triangle. And lastly, the rescuer, in order for them to leave the drama triangle, they also need to have a sense of awareness and the desire to change. They also need to shift into this adult mentality where they are aware of their own thoughts and actions and feelings, and they need to back off Quite simply, the rescuer needs to back off, because they are the ones who think they are playing peacemaker in a certain situation, but actually they might be propelling the situation even more and offering an ear to someone who is in the victim mode or the persecutor mode and making the situation far worse than it needs to be. So this video has been a lot longer than I intended it to be, but I hope that idea about the drama triangle has been useful for you. If you're thinking or wondering about toxic friendships in your life, if you're looking to move forward, if you're looking to create new friendships and you're evolving and growing as a person, you know, find your communities, find your tribe, find people that support you, that want to help you, you know, and give back. Support other people, be grateful for what you have. Gratitude is one of the most helpful and important things, particularly if you are in victim mode. So being aware of what you are grateful for, what you have, because really we are all truly blessed and so lucky to have everything, you know, that we have in life, whether that's the basic things such as our health and happiness. That is the number one. So I hope you've all found this valuable, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video.